Hello, I'm John Hill, and welcome to Detroit on You, where we talk about the latest issues and the greatest things that are happening in the city of Detroit. Today we are honored to have Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri with us. He is a very compassionate and lifelong Detroiter. And we're going to talk about the Wayne County taxes and really what you need to know in order to, if your property is maybe subject to foreclosure, or you're debating whether you can get your property out of foreclosure. You may have some relatives or some neighbors. What you're going to find out today is how to do that. Time is crucial here now in order to get your property saved. So Eric, I want to say, how you doing, man?
All right, John, good. Thank you for having me on the program.
Man, Eric, thanks for coming out to the show, man. Really appreciate it. Now, I want the viewers to know, because I know a little bit about you. I know that you may not have been born in Detroit, but you've been here since you were 1 year old. You spent a little bit of time in New York, you came back. But what I'm saying is you're very compassionate, you love the city, and you're a lifelong Detroiter.
I love the city. Detroit is the largest city and largest municipality in Wayne County. It's the county seat is here in Detroit. Wayne County has 43 municipalities.
Wow.
Detroit is the largest, of course. And most of our delinquent tax collections are in the city of Detroit. So I love Detroit. I grew up here, but I'm the treasurer for the whole county. But Detroit is where most of the action is.
Now, some of your history, I mean, I know if we go back to high school, you went to Catholic Central when it was in Detroit.
Right.
The college that you
I went to Michigan State. Yeah.
Michigan State, okay. So you're one of the green and whites, and everybody else in the state is blue and yellow. Maize and blue, right? I just putting you on the spot right there. But what I want to ask you now, you worked with the Treasurer's Office for a while now.
Yeah, I went to the Treasurer's Office in 2011 from Corporation Counsel, and then became the Treasurer in 2016. Okay. When Ray Wojtowicz retired,
right.
Then Richard Hathaway was appointed, and then he retired shortly after that, maybe 4 months after that.
And there was another treasurer, because when I first met you, there was another treasurer that you were working with, and you came in when you were deputy treasurer.
That was Richard Hathaway.
Judge
Hathaway.
Judge Hathaway
was appointed right after Ray Wojtowicz retired.
All right. Now, when did you how did it come into fact and existence, I guess, that you became the Wayne County Treasurer? Did you see it in the future, or is it something that
you just
worked real hard?
I didn't expect Richard Hathaway to leave. I was, just working as his deputy, and he decided that health issues, family issues, he decided to retire. So then an opportunity came, and I just decided to go for it.
All right. Now, what does the Wayne County Treasurer do for those? I mean, everybody knows that you handle taxes and make sure that the taxes are paid and try to keep people out of foreclosure. But what about your
other things we do? We collect all the county money, all the money in bank accounts that are in the county are under the Treasurer's watch, and the Treasurer maintains the bank accounts, invests the money for the county. Even though our investments are only about a little less than 2% of the county's total income, we are doing better with our investments. A few $1 million a year. It's just off interest, investing the money and having it available for when departments need it. Also, we collect money for the 911 operators from your phone bill, and then we pass it off to the municipalities so they can pay the 911 operators. Did you know that that's how they get paid?
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't think anybody ever really thought about it. Yeah,
taxes,
you had anything to do with it.
The phone bills, we collect those, give them to the different conferences, Western Wayne, Downriver, Eastern Wayne, and Detroit Conference. Then they pay the 911 operators.
Sure.
That's one of the things we do that people don't think about. Also, we collect money from the stadium tax, from the hotels and rent-a-car companies for Comerica Park stadium tax. We also issue jury duty checks, pay health care costs, and make sure the money's in there for the payroll and pension payments. All that's done through the Treasurer's Office. So the collecting and delinquent taxes and the foreclosures gets most of the attention.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of accounting that goes on in our office, keeping track of the money.
Okay. And it's your biggest role, I guess, because all those are very important, but is your biggest role, do you feel, is it the foreclosures, because it's such a, I don't want to say a problem, but it's a big deal in Detroit.
It's the collection of delinquent taxes is a big deal. We have a unique program in Michigan called Delinquent Tax Revolving Fund. And what happens is when the municipalities don't collect the current taxes, they collect the current taxes. and when they don't collect, they turn over to the Wayne County Treasurer on March 1st of every year. And then we borrow the money and then pay them 100% of what they didn't collect. And then we collect the debt and then eventually back charge them 2 years later what we don't collect.
Okay, I'm going to ask you,
So
Eric, and that's with the city, right?
That's with every municipality.
Every
in
municipality,
Wayne County.
yeah. You know, I'm saying Detroit, but it's all the different ones in Wayne County. So, give me, because I got a little bit lost there, the Flintstone chewable version, if you will, of that. Let's just use the city of Detroit, for example.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
$50 million of delinquent taxes wasn't collected by the city. They gave us $50 million, said we couldn't collect this $50 million. So we turned it over to the Wayne County Treasurer. So the Wayne County Treasurer borrows the money and gives the city $50 million.
Okay, where does the Wayne County Treasurer borrow the money from?
On the market.
Okay.
From banks and other folks who want to bid on our notes.
Understood, yeah.
We have an RFP out there and people bid on them.
The notes. And then the money's collected, or you try to collect the money.
We issue the money to all the municipalities and taxing authorities, the libraries, the parks, the county, all the municipalities, the school districts. They all get the money. So there's no interruption in the services.
Right.
That's the idea of doing this, is that they can continue to operate even if they didn't collect the current taxes.
Understood.
So if this wasn't going on and things got really tight, they say, well, we have to close the library for 2 weeks because we didn't collect the current taxes. But because of this program, this delinquent tax revolving fund, they don't have any deficits. And then what we do is collect the debt, and then we back charge them what we don't collect. Because what we don't collect, we take to the auction, for instance. If we don't collect the taxes before the auction, we sell them, and then that money that we have with auction proceeds also gets distributed throughout all the municipalities and taxing authorities. That's also done.
Yeah, you know. Now, speaking of the foreclosures and collecting the money, we have to go on the break here. But it's not too late if somebody's home is in foreclosure that they can work out a deal with you.
It's not too late. June 7th is our deadline for anyone who has contested the foreclosure and needs to get into a payment plan.
Okay.
They're maybe behind, and the final judgment, we're going to get a final judgment the first week of June. It's June 7th.
Right.
So if they haven't done anything, they need to come and see us right away.
Okay, let's talk about some other things and how people can get over to see you and what they can do for that particular program.
Sure.
We're going to go on a break. We'll be right back. So what we want you to do now is call anybody and everybody you know that may be in trouble with their taxes, maybe going into foreclosure or under foreclosure right now, but there still may be hope. And we're going to talk about those things right when we come back after these messages.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Chabris wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in a payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
So welcome back to Detroit and You, and we're here with Eric Chabris, our Wayne County Treasurer, and we're talking about foreclosure and what you can do to save your home, or what your relatives do, or your friends or your neighbors can do, your church members can do to save their homes. So Eric, now a lot of people, we're talking about foreclosure and that there's still time that people can save their homes. I know you've had different, can I call them seminars, or you know, different events where you try to get as many people as you can in to save them.
We do this all year round. Especially starting in January, which we work all the way through because we're trying to reach people early, as early as possible. But now we're at the last minute.
Yeah, but a lot of people think, Eric, that it's too late, that they can't save it, because I know that they, you know, were saying that the last day to save your house, I can't remember the date was, but I know where your heart is, and I know how much you do to keep the Detroiters in their homes. So what could a Detroiter do right now?
Right now, you need to find out what you owe. Come down to our office. and get some assistance.
Okay, your office is located
400
at?
Monroe on the 5th floor. And phone number, can I give out the number now?
Please give it out.
313-224-5990. It's 313-224-5990. And you can also email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. That's taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Let me just stop you right there. So if they email you, because that's an unfamiliar concept to me, you have some, I mean, emailing the Wayne County Treasurer, you think you're just emailing somebody and they're never going to
We
get
have
back?
somebody that's job is to answer emails.
Okay.
That's the supervisor.
And they get back with everybody that
The
emails.
supervisor of the call center, her job is to also answer the emails
Okay.
that come in. So we get a response.
So when they call you, what type of information can they get? Or when they email you, what kind of information will they? Because they still have to come down to your office eventually.
Well, they could find out what they owe,
Mm-hmm.
what they need to get out of foreclosure. That's the key. What you want to know is what do you need to pay to get out of tax foreclosure, to keep your property out of foreclosure.
Understood.
And so some people, we have different categories of taxpayers. One, a group of taxpayers that have already entered into payment plans and have missed payments. So their question is, now
And they're scared.
they're
Some of
going
them
to
are
be,
scared too.
some of them are going to be removed from the payment plans, but some of them already have been removed from payment plans, and they need a certain amount of money to get back in, to reinstate themselves.
Okay.
So they have given they have an amount that we've given them, saying, if you pay, say, $1,500, you can get back in a payment plan.
Okay.
Now, there's some nonprofits that have money.
Right.
United Community Housing Coalition,
Mhm.
Southwest Solutions, Wayne Metro agencies that are helping as a match.
And what we'll do, we'll put all those numbers in the credits while we're rolling
Oh, good.
credits or at the end so people can see those.
And on the back of this card as well.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
right
have
there.
we have all back on the back of our literature.
And we'll try to, a matter of fact, run some of that under us while we're
Okay.
talking. Yeah.
So what they need to do is find out, first of all, what you need to get your property out of foreclosure. Then we can kind of guide you to where you need to go. Because you may have some of the money, and maybe you can get part of it from one of the nonprofits who have been funded to help match individuals, put them back in the payment plan.
Right, right. But they can't, you didn't kick them out completely. What they can do is they can,
We give them a chance to come back
excellent.
before they
So,
lose the
so
property.
don't get scared, don't get nervous if you're on a payment plan and you did not commit to your, obligation.
The real thing is, if you should be nervous and come down, find out what's going on. Your property's not going to be taken if you come down to the office
But
to
talk
ask
to
for help.
somebody. Right.
But if you don't do anything, then it could be taken because it's going to get foreclosed. It's going to get offered to the city, the state, and the county as what we call the right of refusal before the auction. They can pay the back taxes and take the property off and sell it to a developer,
Right.
or they can let it go to the auction. So if you don't do anything, don't think you have until September auction, because it's not going to happen. After June 7th, then no more payment plans.
June 7th is
That's
the day.
it. But you can pay, you have until June 28th, 21 days after the deadline, to pay all of your taxes, everything,
Okay.
all delinquents, everything, including the 17s.
Okay, now let me go back. So we were on people that were in a payment
In a
program.
payment, right.
Now people that are not on a payment plan, and this is
Well,
the,
Yeah, if you're not on a payment plan, you can get into one. If you live in the house and you own the house, you can get into 6% a year, low interest payment plan. Your smaller down payment. If you're a landlord or you're living in a house of someone that a relative, for instance, deceased relative, someone that you don't have a deed but you're living there, then you're not going to be able to get on a payment plan. You're a tenant. You're just sitting there waiting to see what the landlords are going to do.
right.
Now, last year, the 82 homes that were occupied by tenants were put into a pilot program. This program was funded with Quicken Loans in the city and United Community Housing Coalition. They bought these properties before the auction with tenants living in them.
So I'm a renter.
You rent it.
Or,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the relative.
Right,
That,
really,
yeah,
you're staying in the
deceased
house, you don't have a deed.
Mhm.
These properties were purchased through the right of refusal by the city, funded by Quicken Loans.
Mhm.
United Community Housing Coalition got a grant to do counseling to help the individuals put the money in escrow, taxes, insurance, and make monthly payments.
Right.
And then at the end, many of them received their deeds. The idea was to take the tenants and turn them into homeowners. There
Absolutely.
were 82 homes. I think most of them, except maybe 4 or 5, went through the program and worked very well. So this year they're trying to expand this program to do 500 homes.
Okay.
So
That's excellent.
if they get enough money, they'll be able to do 500 homes.
So okay, so if I'm a renter and I see the foreclosure, the big yellow sign come on or the mail come through, then I should get in contact with you also and find out about this program.
Right, United Community Housing Coalition is a good.
It's the best
good
place to
contact.
start.
Best place to start because they're going to be the ones doing the counseling. If the program continues this year as it did last year, they'll be doing the counseling. But what they'll do, they'll go out and assess the property to see if the property is feasible, if it's viable, if the person, if the house is in good condition, if it's decent, and the people have any kind of income going forward to make sure that they can actually become a homeowner. They'll kind of vet these properties.
Absolutely.
And they did a good job last year checking them out. I think that there are a lot of good homes. People who are tenants taking care of these homes very well.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the landlords just didn't pay the taxes.
Right.
So there's hope for them.
It's funny, this is not Wayne County treasurer, but I work with Herb Strather, and one of his students bought a home that was in a sheriff's sale auction, and she bought it for just a very little bit. But the tenant, and there was a tenant in there, the house was in good condition, have no idea why the landlord wasn't paying on the mortgage because the mortgage was so low. And it's just interesting to me how landlords, to bring us back, some landlords don't pay on the mortgage, but the tenants are paying them.
Yes.
And it's no fault of the tenant.
No,
So some of
they
these
do
tenants
anything
might have
wrong.
perfect credit or, whatever, but there's hope for them, so they don't have to worry. They can stay in their home. They need to get in touch with United Housing Coalition.
Yeah.
Now, probate, let me ask you about that. So I have an aunt that passed away, or an uncle, or,
Yes.
mother, father. And if your house is in probate, how can you save your home?
If it's in probate, all we need is the paperwork from the probate court. We can take it out of foreclosure. It won't stay out of foreclosure indefinitely, but usually a year or two give you time to get through the probate process.
Okay.
And then, but the taxes don't go away.
Right.
Taxes are still there.
It's still there. But you could save your
You can
home
save
too.
you won't have to worry about foreclosure while you're going through probate court. Because once the court awards the property to someone, if they move into property, they can get into an interest reduction payment plan. Very low interest, 6% a year.
Right.
And low down payment. You just have to pay your current taxes at the same time you're paying your delinquencies.
So, and let's talk about that IRSPA a little bit,
Okay.
or the other, because it's about 3 different programs that you have.
We have what we call a distressed owner occupant extension.
Okay.
This is just gives a person another year to pay their taxes. Until December, you're supposed to pay your taxes facing foreclosure. Right now, it's the 2015 taxes.
Right.
So if you owe 2015 taxes, you have until December of 2018 to pay the 15 taxes. And that's if your income is low and you don't want a monthly payment.
Right.
Some people, the best plan is the interest reduction stipulated payment agreement. We call it the IRSPA.
IRSPA, right.
That's the best plan because the interest rate is low. The extension, the interest rate is still 18% a year. So
Under
it's better
IRSPA,
to-
it brings it down to
6% a year.
Wow.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And even if it's such a low payment, that if you're not paying anything on that extension during the year, that's going to be a huge bill at the end of the year.
Right, but
So-
as long as you're on the IRSPA, under the IRSPA, you still have that low payment.
Right. But you have to also pay your current taxes.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't want to do it because they're afraid they can't pay their current taxes
And what
at the
happens?
same time.
Right.
So they'll just go with the extension, do it year by year,
Exactly.
just to be safe.
And the extension, so that's under the deferred.
Yeah, that just gives you till December.
Understood. And so what does, and there's a third program there.
Third program is just a regular stipulated payment agreement for anyone, business owners, landlords, and you got to get 60% paid by June 7th.
Okay.
You have to be in it. Usually you start in December and November, 10%, 20%. Each month that you wait, you have to put more down, and it's like 10% a month.
Gotcha. But the IRSPA is definitely the best program.
But don't forget about exemptions. We got to talk about that.
Okay, so we'll talk about that when we come
All
back
right,
on our
all right.
closing. So you're getting it from Eric Sabri, the Wayne County Treasurer, the person who knows how and can tell you how and can help you actually to save your home. So there's much more to come. We ask you to stand by, and if you still need to call somebody, you're thinking about that you may need to call somebody that needs to hear this information, please call them right now. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Yeah.
I want to tell you a quick story. There was a veteran that came in our office a few years ago. He had just finished serving in Iraq. He said, auction is about to happen. I need more time. My property is headed to foreclosure. He said, I just got back from Iraq. And I said to him, I thought that we were out of Iraq like a year ago. He said, no. He said, there's about 400 of us that were still there, guarding all the things that were left behind, all the tanks, the military, the equipment, the missiles. We're out in the middle of the desert, and we're guarding all the artillery and tanks and equipment that we left behind, so the enemy can get it and use it against us. So this is what we do all day. Hot sun, nighttime is pitch black, but we're out there. This is what we're doing. I got back. I realized my house was in foreclosure. This is 2 weeks before the auction. He said, I need more time. I said, well, do you have any money? Do you have any money? He said, I don't have any money. I don't have a job yet. I just got back. My wife and I got divorced while I was overseas. She was paying the bills. When we got divorced, she stopped paying the taxes, and the property just, it went down. It's in foreclosure. I'm at the house now. I need more time. I said, well, the only thing I can do is I can give you some more time. I said, really, in good conscience, I can't see foreclosing on your property in this circumstance. You've been over there risking your life, defending our country, helping us. I can't see foreclosing. I'll give you more time. He said, thank you, and he went away. So we took his property out of foreclosure, and I made a note. He said, when I get a job, I'll be able to come back and pay the taxes. So about 5 months later, 6 months later, I saw someone's called me in the hallway, and I turned around. It was the same soldier and he's very, very, military. Yes, sir. No, sir. All the time we were talking. He says, I wanted to tell you, I paid my taxes. He pulled out his receipt, showed it to me. He said, I wanted to show you I got a job. I'm a man of my word. I did what I said I was going to do. I paid my taxes. And the reason I came back to tell you is because if anyone comes to you with a story like mine that's unbelievable, please give them a chance. Please give them a chance. And this is what we do in the Treasurer's Office. We work with people. We do everything we can to help them. And we're very flexible. We're very flexible. So don't hesitate to contact us. It's your responsibility to do something about the tax bill that you have. We are here to help you. We don't want your property. If we wanted property, we wouldn't say anything. We would just let people lose their property. But we are here to help. It doesn't benefit us at all. Take your property. We want you to stay in the property, because that's how we collect taxes. If you're in the property, the neighborhood stays stable, and we don't have to worry about demolition. We don't have to worry about homelessness. You're in the house. We're collecting taxes. It's a win-win for everyone. So once again, thank you, and hope to see you here if you have a problem. Thank you very much.
So Eric, we were left off talking about Wayne County property tax exemptions.
Yes.
Yeah, and so can you expound on that a little bit more?
Based on income, many individuals are eligible for an exemption of their property taxes, either a full exemption or a partial exemption.
And a lot of people don't know this, and I've worked for the city, I think it was 24 years, and I never even knew that this existed.
Yeah, it's all run by the assessor's office. And that's in room 804 in Coleman A. Young Municipal Center in Detroit. And what happens is people have to apply for this every year.
And let me say this. What I didn't know is, and I know you're going to get into this, that if you make under a certain amount, you don't have to pay any property taxes.
Well, if you make under a certain amount, you're eligible, because you have to apply to the city every year. And also, if you're 100% disabled veteran, you're also eligible for 100% exemption. Property taxes. Okay, so but you have to apply every year once again.
Okay, so I stopped you and apologize for that. So property tax exemptions.
Yes.
They are. They are a way that if somebody is at a low income level, that they can file and avoid paying property taxes, which will save them from losing their home in foreclosure.
Right.
And what is it? So if I'm a single, live in a house by myself, I'm a single person, you have up to a family of 8, I think. What are the different amounts?
I think there's a big chart. Around 16,000 something for one person.
Right.
For a household of 2 is 19,500.
Right, and I think it goes up to 44,000 for is that a family of 8?
8, yeah. There's a chart that tells you exactly what it is, and you have to apply for it, assessor's office, and if you're eligible for it, and many people are eligible, then they shouldn't be paying property taxes.
Yeah, and what amazes me and what I found out, again, working with Herb Strather, I found out that there are thousands of people losing their homes that really never should have lost their homes or had a way of not losing their homes in the first place if they would have filed for this exemption.
There are some, I'm sure, every year we have people who say, I only make $1,000 a month. Well, that's $12,000 a year.
Right.
So you shouldn't be paying property taxes.
Right. Now, there's no way to retroactively do this, is there?
Not currently, there is no way. There's some effort to try to do something in Lansing. I don't know how successful that's going to be.
And they filed the property tax exemption now because, and I have to mention this too, because when I found out of it, first of all, it was mind-blowing to me, but it's really not your job to, go out and broadcast this. It's really the city's job. And
yeah, we do it anyway, though.
Yeah, you do it anyway.
We have to because we see the problem. It's a big problem.
Right, and the city has been letting people know about this.
The city's been doing it. The last
yeah.
couple of years has been a big effort. This year they had a huge effort led by a Quicken Loans grant again.
Right.
And it was called Neighbor to Neighbor. And they funded a number of nonprofits to go out and knock on doors, letting people know they may be eligible for exemptions. And that resulted in over 500 people getting tax exemptions approved.
Yeah, and I have to say this too, and to throw it out there, and we talked about this once before, but people sometimes think that the city wants their home or Wayne County Treasurer wants their home. You want Detroiters to live in their homes. You don't want their homes.
No, we don't want to take homes. If we wanted to take homes, we wouldn't do anything. We would just be quiet.
Right.
And let people forget about their taxes. Because we don't want their home because we're not in the real estate management business.
Right.
Our job is to collect taxes, and the neighborhoods benefit when people stay in their homes. It's just
the neighborhood strengthen. Neighborhoods,
it's totally, the family's stable. It's important to keep families together. A lot of this problem we have, John, comes because families aren't working together. They're not united as family members. Because you see people every year come in and say, my mother lost her house, or my brother lost his house. We didn't realize that he was behind. We didn't realize she was behind.
Absolutely.
Because families aren't even talking to each other. They don't even know what's going on within their own family.
Right.
And that's a problem. That's one of the problems that we have.
Yeah,
we see it every year.
Yeah, and that is a problem because people are embarrassed and ashamed, and then they end up losing their home. Then everybody finds out anyway.
They don't want to tell people what the problems are. They want to tell their children their issues. They don't want anybody in their business. But sometimes you have to pry into the business if you suspect that things are not going like they should. And
you know what, speaking of that, so it's very simple because sometimes you have aging parents. We talked about this before. They might have dementia. My mother had Alzheimer's, and she wasn't able to handle the day-to-day duties, responsibilities, and then ultimately just our responsibilities. But I say this, if you're worried about an aging parent or relative, you could actually just go on your website and find out what the property taxes are owed, and your website is
WayneCountyTreasurer.com.
WayneCountyTreasurer.com, and you just go in and you put the property address in it, the parcel number of the property address.
Put it in, or you can just call our office and ask.
Right, and you could go to the city to find out the current taxes, but to find out the back taxes, you have to actually go to your website to find out.
And you don't have to be old, John, either. If you're raising 5 children in this world, you're busy working and raising children, or it doesn't have to be 5. You're busy.
Right.
Things you can forget.
Yeah.
You can forget to pay a bill.
Absolutely.
You can forget, and sometimes you don't read your mail like you should.
Right.
And that happens.
Yeah, it does.
It happens all the time.
And I say in this world with the cell phones and everything else going on, we're busier than we've ever been in our lives. I mean, it just amazes me how busy. I remember when I used to have time just to sit and think, and now it seems like you're just surrounded and bombarded with things.
But the house is so important. Your home is so important that it should be on the top of the list of priorities.
Absolutely.
Things that should be up there at the top of the list.
All right. Is there anything else in closing statements that you would like to say about saving your homes, what you should do, anything I may have missed?
Just the main thing is don't procrastinate and don't give up. If you have any idea that you're behind and you might lose your property, come and see us.
Right. And again, June 7th is the deadline of coming to try to get in one of these programs to save your homes. Is that right?
Right.
June 7th is critical.
Right. Most people already know that. Most people already know the deadline. Most people are either just trying to get back in their payment plan or trying to get the money to get into a payment plan the first time. They already know.
All right.
But we keep putting the word out so that we don't have people coming in on June 10th and June 15th, telling us, I want to get into a payment plan.
Now, I'm going to invite you back, or I would like you to come back
Sure.
after June, but if after June 7th up to September, what's the date?
When we go to the auction,
When you go to the auction,
sometime in the middle of September.
you could possibly pay all the taxes.
No,
Don't you?
up until June 28th, you can pay everything. And that's it.
Okay, so after June 7th to June 28th,
You have to
could
pay everything.
everything.
Yeah, no payment plans. You have
No
to pay
payment.
everything that's due. What would be the minimum bid in the auction?
Right.
You have to pay it all
Okay, and then
to remove. After that, when we give the list to the cities and to the state and the county for right of refusal,
right.
the list of foreclosures, you're not going to be able to redeem the property after that. That's the first Tuesday of July. We have to give them the list.
Wow.
No later than the first Tuesday of July. So once that list is gone, that's it.
Okay. Now, Eric, I know because I've interviewed you before, but what always amazes me is that your on-camera presence, man. And I found out something today about you. You have that in your family, runs in your family. Your father was a news anchor.
Well, he worked for Channel 62, Bill Humphreys.
Bill Humphreys.
Yeah, he had a sports show,
I remember.
horse racing for a half hour in Hazel Park in DRC.
Okay.
Then another half hour, a show called Speaking of Sports. So this was back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, I remember him. I remember the name.
He interviewed, this is before ESPN.
You're right.
This is the first
When
sports
we
show.
when we had about 3, 4, or 5 channels, something like that.
Yeah, it was the first sports show in Detroit.
And who did he all interview?
Oh, he interviewed anybody that was in Detroit if it was the Grand Prix. Well, it was before the Grand Prix days. It was the Gold Cup races.
Right.
He interviewed all the different jockeys, horse racing jockeys, Willie Shoemaker, all the people, Gordie Howe, whatever was going on. Anytime visiting teams would come in for the Pistons or the Tigers, Red Wings, he was there. The Lions, he interviewed them. He interviewed the local players. He interviewed high school players. It's hard to run a half-hour sports show every day.
Right. It's very
So
hard.
he had to interview everybody. College players, high school kids, everybody. He had Muhammad Ali, Jesse Owens, and Reggie Jackson. I had a classic interview with him that I wish I had a copy of.
I like to. Muhammad Ali. What was some famous words that Muhammad Ali shared with him? Maybe.
Oh, he told him he wanted to know was he going to get paid to do the interview.
Right.
He said, you have a budget? Do you have some money for me? He said, no. He didn't have a budget. He said, so I got a poem for you.
Okay.
So he told him to say, I like your show. I admire your style, but your pay's so cheap you won't see me for a while. so Ali had a great interview, and it was when he was getting ready to. I forgot who was getting ready to fight, but he was in town promoting his fight.
Yeah. That'll work.
But that was a great. It was great.
We need to see that clip.
We got it's on YouTube.
Right.
It's
So,
on YouTube, yeah.
Eric, thank you very much for coming out, man. I really appreciate it, and educating Detroiters and let them know that there's still time. You've heard it from Eric Sabree himself. He's here to help you. His office and all of his staff is here to help you. Very important that you know, if you don't know, about that June 7th date. But Eric, I want you to take time out. Can you look directly in that camera and then just say a message of how they can contact you and what they need to do?
This is a very serious matter. If you're in trouble with property taxes, or you know someone, have them call the Wayne County Treasurer's Office at 313-224-5990. That's 313-224-5990. Or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're located on the 5th floor of 400 Monroe in Greektown.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, thanks, John. All right.
And thank you, and stay tuned for more Detroit in You.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tom.
I want to say something about your show. I asked somebody, well, you going to give me some money? They said you don't have a budget, right?
Right.
So I wrote a poem for you. Is that your camera?
That's the camera.
I love your show and I admire your style, but your pay's so cheap, I won't see you for a while.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabree, your Wayne County Treasurer. I'm coming before you to discuss how we are reducing foreclosures in Wayne County. I want to set the record straight on our foreclosure reduction numbers, which were the lowest in nearly a decade in Wayne County and Detroit in 2017. In fact, we reduced foreclosures by 72% over the previous 2 years. That's significant progress that should not be ignored or dismissed. Recently, my office received some negative media coverage when in fact, the majority of the information presented was false and misleading. So here's the truth. The Wayne County Treasurer's Office does not want to take your property. If we wanted to take your property, we wouldn't have payment plans to help people have more time to pay. In fact, we would not have raised over $70,000 in private money to help approximately 106 people save their homes last year from foreclosure when they owed less than $1,000 to pay off their taxes. Recently, we assisted approximately 3,000 people, helped them get out of foreclosure through our outreach services. The goal of this office is to have 0 owner-occupied properties in the auction, and we're working every single day to make sure that happens. Over a 3-year period, we send out numerous notices and warnings to taxpayers who are delinquent on their property taxes. Unfortunately, many do not take any action at all. A news report made it sound very simple. They said if you do not pay your taxes over 3 years, the treasurer takes your home and sells it at the auction. While that is the law, the news reports omitted the extensive formal and informal outreach we make to keep people in their homes. This was completely ignored to the point of being irresponsible. Under the laws of the state of Michigan, if you don't pay your current taxes, they become delinquent and are transferred to the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. First, the taxpayer receives a tax bill on July 1st for summer taxes. Then December 1st for winter taxes, and they have until February 28th to pay their local municipality tax bill. On March 1st, unpaid tax bills are turned over to the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. We send a delinquent tax notice by first-class mail in June. In September, a second delinquent tax notice is sent. That's all in the first year. If tax bills go unpaid into the second year, a third notice is sent via certified mail in February. In March, the property is forfeited to the Wayne County Treasurer's Office and a certificate of forfeiture is filed with the Register of Deeds. In essence, this places a lien on the property. We then perform a title search to notify all interested parties to receive further notices of intent to foreclose in May through September. In October, we serve a personal service notice in person as we visit each property facing foreclosure. If we visit a location and no one is there, a notice is posted. In the final 2 months of the year, the Treasurer's Office publishes 2 separate notices of all parcels headed for foreclosure. A separate certified letter is sent to all parties of interest, mortgage lenders, owner, and others to notify them that there are show cause hearings as to why the property should not be foreclosed on. Also, this offers information on programs available. We do this by law, and a homeowner can enter into a payment plan or agree to pay a portion of back taxes to prevent foreclosure. This extensive and costly process is repeated in year 3. The reality is that we do not want to foreclose on your house or your property, but homeowners and other property owners have an obligation to pay their taxes in Wayne County and every other county in America, or they risk losing their property. Also, we promote nearly a dozen programs to help people deal with back taxes and to prevent foreclosure. We hold numerous taxpayer Saturday sessions, outreach initiatives, and we advertise on radio, TV, and in local newspapers on what taxpayers need to do to avoid foreclosure. The fact is, the vast majority, some 92% of taxpayers countywide pay their taxes on time. A great deal of our office's resources is spent on communicating with a small percentage who don't pay their taxes on time. My office does not do assessments. We have nothing to do with the ups and downs of the home or property valuation process. Everyone has a right to appeal their home value assessments at their local assessor's office. Call my office at 313-224-5990. Visit us at treasurer.waynecounty.com. You can email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or come down to 400 Monroe on the 5th floor. We want to help you save your property from foreclosure. This is Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri for an important message for those enrolled in payment agreements with the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. If you are enrolled in an agreement, don't default. Keep your payments current, especially if you have an interest reduction agreement which allows you to pay 6% interest per year. If you default, your interest payments will increase to 18% per year and cannot be reversed. If you have questions, contact my office. Don't default. Keep your payments current.